Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so happy you're here for this project. This is a fun one. This is an altered box that I have made to gift some puppy treats, some dog treats. So in this video, I'm going to include the Cricut directions for making this box bigger so that you get a larger size box, as well as the directions to put it together and the recipe for the dog treats and a little freebie for you to take advantage of. So you'll want to check out this video. This is a good one. This has a lot of info in it. I am making this for the Outlaws. Anything goes in a card-free zone. So you'll want to come over and join in this challenge. It's fun. Anything but greeting cards. Anything. Anything. Any craft, baking, whatever you enjoy doing. Writing, poetry, anything. Anything goes in a card-free zone. Now, we do have a theme this month. Our theme is food, and you can follow that theme if you like, and you don't have to if you don't want to. Here's the address, the Outlaws Challenges Saturday.blogspot.com, and this will be linked below for you. The main thing I want to share while we're here in Cricut Design Space is number one, the how I altered this box. That's the big part of this this time we're going to spend in Cricut Design Space. But before we do that, I've got to share how you're going to get this free paper. This paper, let me bring back my project for a minute. It's so cute. It's got this little puppy and the Christmas tree and the comfy chair, and it is called Cozy Christmas Scene, and it definitely is one. And you're going to get the repeated pattern here, and if you'd like a chance to earn this for free, you simply link up 2 Christmas cards to the 12 Months of Christmas Challenge anytime between November 1st and November 30th. And you will receive this paper pattern for free. Is that not fun? So let's talk about this bag box and how I changed the size of it. First off, the box is from Tiny Treasure, and it's in your Cricut Access. If you have Cricut Access, it's there. And this is the number M33DOE. So I'm simply going to go to Images. I'm going to do a Command V and search, and there it is. I'm going to click it, and it says Add to Canvas. I click that, and it adds this project right onto my screen. I'm going to move down here a little ways so that we can see this. First thing I want to do is make this big. I don't have any paper that measures more than 12 by 12. So even though I have a longer mat, I don't have paper that will do this. So I'm going to size down my height to about 11.7 because I know that will fit on my mat. But I'm still too wide. I'm 15.96. So what am I going to do? I would love to have it this size, but I can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. I'm going to take a rectangle that's big enough to cover this portion of my box. I'm going to turn it yellow just because it'll be easy to see the difference between these two pieces. If I bring this in and I leave my score lines, I cannot select the two and slice. So I have to go ahead and select my score lines here and just hide those. Now let's bump this up so we can see. What I want to do now is bring this yellow portion, this rectangle, over and line it up so that it cuts, slices right up this line. Okay, so when you go to slice this, if your box is measuring 15.94 by 11.7 and your position is X 1.356, Y 14.218, then you can put your yellow rectangle at 9.674 by position Y 13 inches 945, and that will cut it exactly where you want to slice it. So let's do it. I'm going to go ahead with my mouse. I'm swiping over. I am selecting. I'm going to slice. I pull this away for a moment. I get rid of the yellows. Okay, so I can just get rid of this. I can delete my slice result. And you can see I have a nice, pretty clean edge here, right across here. There's a little bump right here. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but you're welcome to play with it on your own Cricut in Design Space and get it even closer if you want. All right, now these two have to fit back together, so how are we going to do that? All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come in and create a tab. And the way we do that is, first we're going to bump this up and we're going to position it in at 17 inches here at the Y exactly. All right, we're going to make this easy on ourselves. We're going to bring in a triangle right here. We're going to rotate that 90 degrees. We're going to bring this up to that 17 that we did before. I'm just typing in 17, hitting return. Now I'm going to eyeball this part and I'm just going to bring it right down so that it meets up right here. So let me get that a little bigger on the screen here. So you can see that these are going to match up. This is going to match up. Now on my keyboard, I'm going to go to my left arrow. I'm going to click it one time. I'm going to come back and check again. Looks like I might need to click it one more time because I see a little bit of space back there. One way you can check that is to bring in a shape, maybe a square, color it a bright color like this bright yellow, and stretch it down there, move it to the back, and you can see that yellow back there. All right, so that's just one way to sort of play with that and see. All right, so let's go ahead and move this one more time with my left arrow. Now I'm definitely in. So I'm still at 17. I'm good here. Now I'm going to bring that yellow square. I think I got rid of it actually. So let's bring in another shape. Let's bring in this square. We're just going to bring it down like so. Select our triangle along with this rectangle. Slice. Take all this away. Delete it. Now we have a tab. So now let's go ahead and join those together. So we're going to say combine over here on the right side. I'm going to left click, weld, and there it is. Let's back off a little bit. Now we really can't, oh, there's that yellow rectangle I was looking for. Let's get rid of that. We really cannot reattach those lines that we had before. We really can't reattach them because there's no way to split them that I know of. So if somebody knows how to do that, by golly, share with me. Because I don't know how to do that. I have not figured out a way to do that. I've tried several different things. It just won't come up with that option. So let's get rid of all that and let's just do it the old-fashioned manual way. Now, talk about doing it the old-fashioned way. You'll see that I'm going to go in and deepen up the score cuts when I get over to the craft table. When I get this to the craft table, I will go over it with my scoreboard and my tool, and I will deepen up all of these scores anyway. So some of them I didn't even bother putting in up here. You can see I didn't bother putting this one in, or the one that goes across here. I didn't bother putting those scores in. If you, however, like putting scores in Cricut Design Space, let me share how to do that. You're going to go to Shapes, left click your score line. I'm going to right click and say Duplicate. Duplicate. I'm going to do it again, select it, duplicate, because I know I need several of these. Duplicate. All right. So I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to line it up right here along this one, because this is a tab, and I know I'm going to be folding along there. Here's another place we're going to be folding. We're going to be folding along this tab that we created. And again, you want to make sure you get these right in place. And I'll be honest, I do better just doing it on my scoreboard than I do here in Design Space, but do what's best for you. All right, I did some each way so that you could see it when I put it together. And then there's this one that goes here in the middle, and it's going to go part way down. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it a horizontal by rotating it 90. I'm using my keyboard to just type that in. And I'll bring that down, and it's going to go right across here. There's a kind of a Y pattern right here. So again, what I can do is I can bring in another one here. And I am not a math person, so I cannot give you exact, what is the word I'm looking for? Angles. I don't know the exact angles. I just eyeball it. That's what I do. I eyeball it. Okay. So I figure out, okay, this is where it's going to have to come in. There's the point. Now it's going to have to join up here. Okay, now one way you could do it is if you saved the score line from your original, you could just match it up and that would work. Okay, you could do that. That's probably what I should have done. We're going to just scooch this up. I'm going to put this right in the corner. And I'm just going to bring this down to meet it. Then I'm going to take this. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to flip it and stick it right there. And that's going to take care of that. So now I'm going to take this entire piece and I'm going to say attach. This is not perfect. I would go through, I would probably make this bigger, and I would go through and get these score lines in exactly where I wanted them if I were going to do this. Right now, what's going to happen is, let's just put a score line across here so you can see what's happening. So let's grab a couple more score lines. Now, you can see how this is going to fit together. This is going to come in, and this tab, see, is going to slide right in there. And then this will fold around, and this tab will slide in on this side. And there'll be a fold line here and here. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So now we have a much bigger box for our dog treats. All right, let's go back. I pulled in Leah's summer paper bows and created a bow, cut a bow in Cricut Design Space. I cut my tag here and I cut, let's see, there's the tag. And I cut this piece right here. The way I did that is I duplicated this piece. All right, I'll just do it for you. Duplicate, and let's bring it on down here. We're going to bring in another shape. We're going to bump this down right there. We're going to slice. And now what I have done is I have created just this piece right here. Now I came in and I went ahead and hit offset, but I'm really going to inset just a little bit here. Now, why did I choose to make this piece? Okay, let me apply first. There it is. Why did I choose to make this piece? Well, I chose to make this piece because my pattern, when it folds over, is going to be upside down. So if I make this piece and I glue that over, then it gives me a little bit of variety here on top of my pattern paper, as well as covers up the fact that this piece is upside down. All right, let's head over to the craft table and let's put this box together. Here we are at the craft table, and I've assembled some items to use for my bag. First, I have some score tape. I have the cookie cutters, which came from Amazon, and I will link those below. I used the puppy, the doghouse, and the bone. I also have my bow that I cut and a Cuttlebug embossing folder. I have these buttons that I don't even know why I bought these, but they're coming in handy now. And I have the flap and the tag pieces. Now, I'm going to come in now with my 2 box pieces. And as I said earlier in the video, I'm going to come in and deepen up those score lines and put in score lines where I may not have had them before. When I put in score lines, I do them on the wrong side when the paper folds inward. Right here, I'm doing it on the right side because right sides are going to fold together instead of wrong sides folding together, like you see through the flap and the bottom of the bag. I'm putting it together here. I'm going to put on some double score tape. That way it's really going to hold. And I'm just going to adhere that to both tabs, the tab that we put in Cricut Design Space, as well as the one that came with the box naturally. I'm going to put a little fabric tack on there. That way I have some wiggle room. I apologize for my overhead light. It must have been a gloomy day outside. We've had some gray days. And I usually remember to turn that off, but it must have been so gray outside that I thought, you know, I just missed that. So I'm sorry. I am sorry about that. Continuing on, here is the piece we're going to put over the flap. And you can see that that would have been upside down when we folded that over the top. So this pretty piece of chocolatey brown cardstock will remedy that problem. Okay, the bow. The bow will not fit into my embossing folder, so I'm going to put it in halfway. Then I'm going to run it through my embossing folder. Then I will flip it around, not over, but around, put it back in, and give it a second trip through the embossing machine. I'm going to work on the tag here, and I'm just using a little bit of ATG as well as my fabric tack. And I'm putting the little puppy there on, and I'll just lay my block on there while that settles in. And I'm going to come in with a large paintbrush here and just curl that bow around. I'm going to add a little piece of double score tape here in the middle. I'm being pretty generous with that. And I'm going to bring it around and just adhere the little bow into place. Once that's done, I'm going to add a little bit of fabric tack there just to really keep it there. Now I'm going to roll the little part that's going to come around the bow, and you'll see how that works here in a second. I stick the bow on top of the back of the bow and then wrap that other piece around. And again, we'll stick a little bit of double score tape there. It'll hold it in place until I'm ready to adhere that onto the tag. I'm I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my tag together, just placing the layering piece behind the little sentiment card there, and then putting the actual tag on the back of there. Then I'm going to add my bow, and I'm deciding that that gem just needs a little something. So I'm bringing in a Copic R35, which is going to give it sort of a light, almost pinky red color. And it worked out fine. It gave it some color. I'm bringing in some twine now from Really Reasonable Ribbons, and I'm just going to tie this into a knot and clip off the end, and we're done with that. It'll add a little bit of color to that green bow. I'm going to bring in Gorilla Glue, and that's how I'm going to adhere the that big button gem to my little bow. All right, so here's how it's all going to fit together. It's time to bake. Here are the ingredients, so if you need to pause and take a screenshot, you can do it. You'll have another chance here in a minute. But first, a disclaimer. When feeding dogs peanut butter, remember, dogs can have peanut allergies, and never feed a peanut butter that includes xylitol. I think that's how you say that word. For advice on this, consult your veterinarian, or you might want to read this article. It's a really good article from the AKC. I will also link that below. All right, so here's your recipe again. 1/2 cup peanut butter, 2 cups flour, 2 large eggs. You're going to combine those until it gets crumbly. Then you're going to add the water until it will stick together. Then you're going to roll it out, and you are going to cut it with your cookie cutters. Place it on a cookie sheet. I like to put a little bit of kitchen paper underneath them, and then bake at 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes, keeping in mind that oven temperatures do vary. These cookies have a shelf life of about a week. So you're going to want to package them in an airtight container and put the ones that you won't be using in the freezer and freeze them. I found that in our size bag, we can fit 6 comfortably and 9 if you're careful. So, do dogs enjoy these treats? They most certainly do. Luther and Chloe both like these treats. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I truly appreciate your time. This was a fun video. Please share your Christmas cards at 12 Months of Christmas. And also, come on over to the Anything Goes in a Card-Free Zone and share your projects there. Any comments or questions, leave them below, and I'll get back with you. I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.